Today I'm going to teach you how to multiply, divide, add, and subtract integers. Well, what are integers? I'm glad you asked, Tommy. Integers are whole numbers that are positive, negative, or zero. There are absolutely no fractions or decimals used when you multiply, divide, add, or subtract integers. The first lesson will be on multiplying integers. By now, everyone should know how to multiply positive numbers. It's quite easy, as we all know. Multiplying negative numbers is just the same. The rule is that same signs equal a positive outcome and different signs equal a negative outcome. For example, positive 7 times positive 3 equals positive 21. That's easy. Negative 5 times positive 7 equals either A, 35, or B, negative 35. The answer would be negative 35 because one negative equals a negative outcome. Negative 9 times negative 6 equals either A, positive 54, or B, negative 54. The answer would be positive 54 because two negatives equal one positive. Now let's go into dividing. Just like multiplying, dividing integers is quite easy. Also like multiplying, dividing integers has the same rule as multiplying, which makes it easier on us. Negative 120 divided by negative 12 equals positive 10. Why? Because two negatives equal one positives, and there were two negatives in that equation. Negative 64 divided by positive 8 equals negative 8 because there's only one negative in this equation. Unlike multiplying and dividing integers, adding integers is very confusing. Because it is so confusing, we will take integers and divide them into two teams, positive and negative. When adding integers from the same team, the number will always be greater, up the number line. But then it gets difficult. What happens when you add integers from two different teams? Negative 4 plus positive 7 equals what? The trick is that different signs will subtract. For example, positive 7 plus negative 4 is the same as 7 minus 4, which equals positive 3. Let's try with larger numbers. 72 plus negative 32 is the same as 72 minus 32, which will equal positive 40. The reason the number is positive is because the larger number in the equation is positive. Negative 148 plus 90 is the same as 148 minus 90. And the answer would be negative 58 because, again, the larger number in the equation was negative. Now we're on to subtracting, our last lesson. Just like adding, subtracting is very confusing. So again, we will take the integers and put them into two teams, positive and negative. For example, negative 7 minus positive 4 will equal 7 plus 4, which is 11. But because we're subtracting, the number has to be smaller. Negative 11 would be your complete total answer. Negative 69 minus 78 equals 69 plus 78, which is 147. But again, we are subtracting, so the number has to be small. Negative 147. And sadly, it gets more challenging. What do you do when you have three negatives? Well, you can take two of those negatives and make it a positive. Therefore, for this equation, 7 plus negative 9 would equal negative 2, because in that equation, the larger number was negative. Let's try again. Negative 11 minus negative 6 is the same as 11 plus 6, plus negative 6, which equals positive 5, because the large number in that equation was a positive 11. We are finally finished. Now let's do a quick recap on all the rules. The rule for multiplying and dividing would be the same signs become positive outcomes and different signs have negative outcomes. For example, same signs would be -5 times -6 equals +30, and different signs would be 9 minus -3, which equals -27. Adding the same signs would subtract when you're using negative numbers, and different signs would also subtract no matter what. For example, same signs, -7 plus -6 is the same as 6 minus 7, which equals -1. Different signs, -8 plus 13 is the same as 13 minus 8, which equals 5. Subtraction. The rule is that same signs add, and different signs, when the negative number is larger, you add, and when the positive number is larger, you subtract. For example, -3 minus -4 equals 3 plus -4, which is -1. Or different signs, -5 minus 8 is the same as 8 minus 5, which is 3, or -8 minus +5, which is the same as 8 plus 5, which equals -13. What you'll say?